All right, so we back here on another Couch Coach Live. Couch Coaches, we are back another Tuesday edition of Couch Coach Live. Got Maui in the building. What's going on, Maui?
What's up, man? What's up?
Nothing much, man. And we got
I'm
our
just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here.
yes, indeed. And we got our guests. We got our guys, the Hoopers. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, y'all? Glad to be here again for sure.
Yes, indeed. Everything good. Everything good.
Yeah, the Hawks looking good. They up 1-0 right now, so it's good in Atlanta right now.
Yes, indeed. We're definitely gonna get into that as well. So we're gonna just do a playoff recap. We're gonna just go over the weekend that was. We'll talk about our takeaways from the weekend. We'll also talk about the Miami Heat. Of course, we'll talk about the Hawks and the Knicks and the war words with our off the ball network colleagues, you guys, the Knicks versus Hawks Twitter. And then also we'll talk about the LA teams. Yes, we'll talk about the LA teams, essentially which LA team is in trouble, but we'll get that going. So before we dive into tonight's podcast, let's kick that intro. We're back here. So let's get our first topic. So we had, a great weekend of hoops, even going into tonight's action as well as Monday's action. So I'm going to go around the horn, fellas. What was the biggest takeaway from the weekend? I'm going to go with you first. Fresh, I'm going to go with you first.
Man, biggest takeaway really was Milwaukee. They kind of fought for game one. They pulled it out while Jimmy and Bam had a tough game. And then, just to show up in game two, I didn't see the game live. I woke up and I look at the score and I'm like, oh, I need to watch this. What just happened? Yeah. So, my Milwaukee, I'm pretty sure a lot of people picked Miami to beat them because of last year. And they at least held down home court, which is, that's what you're supposed to do. But just the way they did it in game two, Milwaukee, they definitely – I'm looking at them a little more confidently than I did before.
Big time. What you got, W?
Oh, biggest takeaway. Young stars, the weekend was great. Every game was great, first and foremost, but the young stars really came and showed up and showed out from John Morant and Memphis big win. Him and Dylan Brooks. I can't forget to mention Dylan Brooks. Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, basically outplaying LeBron and AD to get that win. Luka once again outplaying the wing duo of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Every time I've noticed this about Luka, whenever he plays against other elite players at his position, it's a tough night for him because he loves those matchups. He loves playing the better teams and the better players. Sure. So the young stars, Trae Young, I can't forget him. But the young stars really showed up and showed that they're gonna be here for a while, and LeBron might as well get ready to league in good hands now, Brian. We don't need you at this point, You're just here now.
Hey man, do me a favor, stay in Atlanta. Keep that down there. Nobody need all that. You know what I'm saying? Just give him a few more years. He got plans. Gee.
Great point. Maui, what you got? What you got?
We co-host. And anyway, honestly, I feel like the NBA heard me last season when I was talking about, great games, the playing games, everything was, it seemed like it was perfect. It made every game was exciting. I knew Memphis was going to win. I knew, because Devin Brooks is ready. Like he like, man, look, they would have beat Golden State if he wouldn't have fouled out that game. And that's just the truth. You know what I mean? They'd have won that game. Anyway, moving on from there. I said it is very important in the league to have Devin Booker, Trae Young, and it's very important for people to see them in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of kids and marketing that they can market for these guys. You know what I mean? Yep. And they did everything I said they were going to do. From Trae Young hitting the game winner, Devin Booker, 34 points? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, man. Like I'm sitting there like, wow, they must have been listening to the pod. They heard they did exactly what I said they needed to do.
I literally was saying that too.
I mean, it's just because what I saw was like kids was starting different races of kids was starting to like basketball. They buying what they're not just their shoes, their jersey. They buying their different equipments on their body. They trying to do their hair like them. You know, I had this girl call me, say, "Hey, Sean, do you know where I can get some Sporting Wave and a do-rag at?" I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, my kid wants to have his hair." I was like, I'm just saying. No, I mean, I'm being honest with you. And I was like, "So who you like?" "Oh, I like Clay. I like Steph." But they've been hurt the last few years. So when I'm like, well, there's this Gigi loved Trae Young. You know what I mean? And we knew Devin Booker for the last 2 years. They was talking about him being in an All-Star game. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, people need to know who they are. I'm happy Bradley Beal's in the playoff. Yeah. I'm just excited, man. It's just all around. But one more thing, I felt like each game has a real nice storyline. Like Portland and the Nuggets, to me, the Portland was the Trailblazers was supposed to be the Nuggets of last season in the bubble. Because I remember everybody was saying the Trailblazers was the sneaky threat, where the Nuggets was the ones that stepped up, ended up going to the Western Conference. So and then Miami and the Bucks. I knew the Bucks was gonna win because they wanted that. They knew I felt like last year, I think they knew they might have been better than Miami, and then to see Miami go so far. So every game to me has a storyline that reminds me of something of the past. But I'm excited, man. Yeah, I'm just really excited.
Yeah, and to your point too, W. Pretty much it was the youth movement. You look at just like we said, Ja doing this thing, Dylan Brooks, a guy that can go in Coach K's face is a friend of mine. So have a huge shout out to Dylan Brooks. But also this Lakers Phoenix series, like the Banana Boat gang. I don't think they're gonna be on the Banana Boat this summer. They got a little chippy between two of those. It's probably gonna be D Wade and Gabby. I don't know if Chris Paul and LeBron gonna be on that same boat. It's probably gonna be Gabby and D Wade, but ain't nobody. It's gonna be 3 on that Banana Boat, not 4. But that series with Pat, and just a simple fact of just like you say, all together, even like the Milwaukee Miami game to start off the playoffs was probably one of the best games of the weekend, and then playoff basketball in New York City, like we got the Knicks playing in Madison Square Garden. The Garden is jumping 15,000 people in stands, and then down the road in Brooklyn, we got the Nets doing their thing. And I mean, it was a hell of a weekend, and just to have people in, and then Melo still getting booed in Denver.
Yeah, right. Still
getting booed, still getting buckets, man.
Like, come on, guys. Like, this is like, this is let it go at this point. At this point, he's 18 years in. He's been gone with, and it's funny because you don't really remember this. He's been gone for like 10 years.
Right, yeah.
So it ain't like it's been like 2 or 3 years or what have you. Like, I don't know, but don't boo a Hall of Famer.
Nah, let it go now at this point.
Right, it's 10 years. He's at the end of his career, towards the end of his career.
Right.
Let it go.
Let it go. Yeah, give my boy Melo some love. Class 2002, give him some love, man. Yeah. So, speaking of the Heat, and before we talk about the Miami Heat, we definitely gotta shout out to our guy Mo. He's pretty much telling us, hey, watch our mouth on Miami, but hey, he know we're gonna keep it straight. We're gonna keep it a buck. And so the next story, next question I want to ask: can Miami recover? Obviously, they lost 132-98 last night against the Milwaukee Bucks. More so of will they be able to kind of bounce back, make it more of a series because now they're down 2-0. I'm gonna go to your thoughts first, Mal. Your thoughts on this Miami Heat? Can they recover?
Well, the first game actually was close because Miami shot good from the 3-point line, and then the second game, basically, the Bucks damn shot good from the 3-point line. They already was killing them in the paint anyway. You know what I mean? So it just sounded like to me. I don't know. I watched the game a little bit. I want to say they can because the Bucks are supposed to win the first two games. I mean, it is the best out of 7. You know what I mean? You just want to try to steal one of the game. You got to focus on win the next 2 home games, and then this back where it needs to be at. I think the thing with me was when I looked at the minutes played, they really need to get Bam involved a little bit more. I want to know, you think something personally happened where he was trying to put him on punishment and stuff? Because, you know what I mean? It just seemed like, I'm just saying he got Hero on the bench for a long period of time. Jimmy didn't seem motivated. When you look at the numbers, they, like the first game, Duncan Robinson had 24 point, Dragic had 25. Then you go to the next game 2, and it just seemed like, whoo, Bam had 16, Hero had 4, Robinson had 10, and the high score was Deadman, whatever his name is, or something like that. Like he had 19 points. So I'm saying, if you think you think Eric playing chess or what?
Man.
Well, the game was over. Really? It was over from the jump. Like,
right?
Yeah.
And that's why Denman was pretty much all that points was like garbage time.
You think they just was hitting threes early, or
it was just aggressive? It just came off the gate, just aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay.
It was ugly from the jump.
Right, Milwaukee came out aggressive, but you can see to your point, Mal, about him playing chess. Like when you see they come out aggressive like that, Spoelstra is a coach that made those adjustments. He can see that we don't have it tonight and play players in a different type of way. Like we just gonna go home, take care of our home, get to it, come back here and try to steal one. So I can see what you mean about maybe was he trying to play chess because, like you said, they jumped on him from the start.
Yeah.
Like, what can you do?
Definitely. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of knew the game was over when Iguodala was in the beginning of the second quarter. Like you don't go from Trevor Ariza to Iguodala. That's no disrespect to Iguodala, who's had a great career, but that's not what you want to go to, especially while Giannis is still on the court. So you're gonna get caught up out there. But Miami can definitely recover. They, if any team can, they can. They're well coached. They got good, hard, tough players. Jimmy, Bam, who both have to play better. Bam got to start looking for a shot. Yeah. I see him. He passed away a lot of shots and drilled himself out of shots. I think the big difference is that a few people have been talking about Drew Holiday is not Eric Bledsoe. And that is the big difference. The way Drew Holiday runs that team, he runs it much better than Eric Bledsoe could ever think of or ever thought to do.
Right.
And being able, that's an extra defender to put on Jimmy Butler or Kendrick Nunn or Goran Dragic, whoever you think is going to be the hottest player. But I think come down to you can't play Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero if they're not going to be making their shots because it's going to always be a mismatch on defense with one of them out there. Like say Chris Middleton, they ran a couple sets where because the defense was going to switch where they knew Chris Middleton was going to be on Duncan Robinson and there was nothing he could do behind the 3-point line, getting posted up. He was fouling, shot over. So I think it's going to be tough for Miami this year. I think like Milwaukee do think they're the better team, and we're not in the bubble this year. Not in the bubble this year.
Right. And to your point with Drew, like not being Bledsoe, like Bledsoe was always really inconsistent for the Bucks in the playoffs. I remember Terry Rozier cooking him years ago with the Celtics, and just the inconsistencies they got with him. And Drew, if he's healthy, he's gonna be solid on defense. He's gonna be aggressive on offense, and he's really, you really see his effect on the guards. Just other than Dragic, the guards aren't getting off at all for
right.
I think Drew definitely is a part of that. But yeah, you're right. Also about Bam, he got to shoot the ball.
Chris, one more thing. I just have one more question. Do you really believe? Like I felt last year with everything that Jimmy Buckets did and how he walked from that press conference where he could barely walk.
Right.
I felt like that was the best he was ever going to do. I felt like it took something out of him. And my question is, do you feel he can get to that level? I mean, be perfectly honest, because I think he's always sold something to try to make him more than what he really is.
Right. Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
No, I actually have that same opinion.
Right. But he's right, because he did take it up such a notch to a whole nother level last year. Like, he looked like a top 5 player in the league. He got triple double in game 3, I think, 40-point games. It was like, and he's been out a lot this year. So it clearly did take a lot out of him. I don't think if he gets back to that point, I don't think it's gonna be this year. Miami, they struggled earlier in the year too. They was at the bottom of the league, turned it on, got some wins. But turning it on and off is hard when you're playing against a team that's rolling, and Milwaukee's been playing well.
No,
playing really well.
I think what helped too last year, he let everybody else throughout the playoffs kind of step up and play a little better. Like Goran Dragic led him in scoring in the conference finals. We seen what Bam did throughout the playoffs, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and then he turned it up in the finals. And I don't know, because I agree. He does sell us as if he is a top 5 player when he's close to the top 15. Like, get the nickname Jimmy Buckets, but he's never averaged more than 23. If I'm thinking correctly, he's never averaged more than 23. But
his numbers is showing that. Like, he's really like a 17 to 23 point person.
17 to 20 point guy, which is good. It's just when you're on a team with no real first superstar, can you be that superstar for real? That's the honest question with Jimmy Butler. Like, no disrespect to his game at all.
Yeah,
that's
him and Bam.
That's why Kawhi go in there. I'm just go ahead. My bad.
But we gotta forget. I know he didn't play a lot when he got there, but they are missing Victor Oladipo, who is out, and that is another defender and playmaker and shot maker as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I think, and the weird thing about it, I don't know if Miami, because this Milwaukee Bucks team is a lot different. And I forgot who was on the call last night, but it made sense because now they got the toughness. They got, I'll call them the heat check kind of guys. When you look at like PJ Tucker, Holiday, they got guys there now where they can get a win or two. But I definitely think, I had the Heat win in 7, but I don't think it's going to happen now. I just think they got the guys, and they, as far as they'll be able to take care of business. Because to me, at this point, even if you split in Miami, you're good. And hell, even if you lose both games in Miami, Game 5 is at home, so it's a legitimate shot. But I definitely think with them having a 2-0 lead is definitely good cushion for them. Right. Because if it was the other way around, I don't think Milwaukee would have been able to recover from this.
Right.
All right. No, yeah,
especially after all, after all the different playoff, losses they've had in the past, and at least at this point, you got a comfortable 2-0 lead, and just keep it going. But yeah, I can definitely see this now, probably maybe in 6. Milwaukee taking it in 6.
That's what it's looking like, real 6ish.
Yeah. Potentially, right? Yeah, because so let's get that. So before we get into this topic, I definitely want to post this. Let me see if I'm able to share my screen. I think it's gonna allow me. Yeah, we're Are y'all able to see that?
Hey, I'm gonna say full disclosure. Yeah. I know he do be joking, and I know I don't gotta have his back, but I got his back. But it is funny though. Like I don't have to say anything because no matter who's talking, he got it. He got it himself. I'll never have to say
it was just funny that day. I think what the icing on the cake was the Kyrie just sitting there like. I think that made the meme. Honestly,
I gotta get this.
When I seen that, I was at work crying, laughing like
Hey, you know what's funny? Like I said, I'll be at work too. So I literally was at work while that whole exchange with him. I'm at work. I was literally at work. I was bored that day. I'm like, all right, I got time today.
Shout out Edgar.
That's what's funny though, because Edgar is cool, man. It was like we actually really cool. So I think some people didn't know because it kind of, especially the one tweet I made about the Knicks. Yeah. I said, who's the most overrated team in NBA history, and why is it the New York Knicks? That one kind of that's one that got. That one went crazy. But I think people thought that we was beefing for real. I'm like, we off the ball, family, man.
Yeah. That's why I said, man, I love Edgar, man. Edgar, he's so passionate. That's funny. Right.
He is.
When you deal with people. It's almost like it's infectious. Yeah, it's all nothing but love. But yeah, Edgar, man, I love it. Yeah, it's Knicks because I remember that time when we did a draft lottery. We did a show for the draft lottery last year. Man, Edgar was pissed when they got the 8th pick. That's when I knew. I was like, see, that's gonna be my boy for life. That's the type of stuff. I'm telling you, the Bulls would have been that way. I would have felt the same way. Man, I'd have been pissed to get that 8th spot, but it worked out for them with getting Obi. So
Obi. He needs to play more.
Yeah, definitely huge shout out to Sean. Yeah, this was hilarious. I even made a TikTok off of that, like with a laugh track. Man. So, fellas, man, your thoughts on this Hawks Knicks series? Up until this point, we got one game, but it was a classic game one. I'm gonna go with you first, Fresh.
Yeah, it was a really good game just to watch. Too, like from start to finish, it was a really entertaining game, back and forth. The Hawks had a lead for a good minute. I think the Knicks came into this game. For one, they were kind of nervous at the beginning, first playoff game in Madison Square Garden, home court. The crowd was crazy. Shout out to the New York Knicks fans. Seriously, like the crowd was going crazy when they was gaining momentum, trying to take that lead back. You could just feel the energy in the stadium for real, but. I think in the end, the Knicks, they swept the Hawks throughout the season, but in that last win, which was Nate McMillan's first win, the Hawks had control of that. Yeah,
first time coaching.
First time, that was his first time coaching against the Knicks. The Hawks had they had a different energy playing with the team under what Nate was doing with them. They were doing some different things with Trae Young, and they had a comfortable lead until Trae got hurt. And the Knicks ran away with the game or whatever. But I think they figured some things out in that game that they wanted to bring into the playoffs. And we saw a little bit of that in game one. Trae, first playoff game, 32 points, 10 assists. I mean, what can you do? The shot at the end, the floaty at the end, his misdirection that he's doing with them. He's stopping and going to another spot. He's baiting them into the fouls, which who was that? The mayor, the governor. He was upset about it. But the Knicks got to play better defense. Like they got to play defense. They got to beat them to the spot. Stop trying to reach at them. Take your hands off them. That's the rule. Right. But it was definitely a classic game. I figured the Hawks would still won in New York. I expected the Knicks to win game 2, but I knew they would still win up there.
No, that was the thing that Jelani was tweeting the other day. My head got on us. Oh my God,
Jelani, man, he's holding it down. Also, he's holding it down. See, we know the Knicks run the world, and it's not many Atlanta Hawks fans. Truth be told, I wouldn't even. And what's funny, I'm not even a diehard Hawks fan. I'm from Atlanta, so we rep the city. We still rep the city overall, so we gonna defend the Hawks for sure all day.
Big time. Definitely. What you got? What's your thoughts on W?
Yeah, definitely game one classic. That's the first Hawks playoff win in Madison Square Garden since like 71, I think.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I seen that. Try to remember stuff like that.
That's why the last time they won a championship.
Who that? The Knicks. Oh no, yeah, it was definitely. I thought it was like 1871, but it's all good. My bad, Knicks fan. My bad. Whatever. But no, it was definitely a classic game one. Trae Young as a young, already all-star player and emerging superstar. Honestly, in my opinion, that's the kind of game you want to have in the playoffs in Madison Square Garden, where you control the whole tempo of the game. Without even looking for your shot. Honestly, like. Trae Young got real aggressive in the second half, but he made sure that all his teammates were involved, from Bogey to what's my guy name with the Mohawk Gallup,
Mohawk Gallinari,
Mohawk D. John Collins was good. This is the first time they actually defended Julius Randle well for the whole game.
Yeah.
He's been bullying John Collins in every matchup. So John and Clint Capella needed that win in the front court. And I think, honest truth be told, summing it all up, our guard and wing play is going to be more consistently better because we have more talent and depth at those guard and wing positions with DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, who's not even playing, Trae Young, Bogey, Kevin Horter, who's going to hit you some shots, Lou Will, vet off the bench. So it's going to be a tough series, but I got the Hawks because just that guard depth in the playoffs is what you need. And the Knicks, who have some good point guards, don't really have a Trae Young right now.
Hey, I just want to say one thing. Your point about Lou Williams, when Trae was on the bench, the Knicks took their lead and they were kind of pulling away, but Lou came and got some quick buckets just to keep it within that range, and they came and took out. So the guard play has been the Knicks' weakest position. And I feel like I agree that's where we're strongest at.
Right, because they could not catch him. I was watching. I was like, "Damn, somebody gonna step up." They're like, "Oh, there you go, right there." I'm like, staring at you the whole time. You know what I mean? Sure. Move your feet. I mean, I ain't got much. I know I've been talking too much, so much. Only thing I got is, Randall was there, so he got 15 points. If it's the playoffs, they lost by 2. He's got to get at least 20 points. Like he's got to get. You know what I mean? If he gets 20 points, most likely they win the game. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. He's the dude. Yeah. I mean, D Rose got 17 points. Brooks got 27, but he kept y'all there. He kept y'all. It would have been a blowout if he didn't get 27 points.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, truthfully.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah, Burks, like his shots wasn't missing, so he was on.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is also, like you said, this is really, since the bubble, it's a transition where it's starting to show more of the young guys. It's a new NBA coming, so they've got to step up. You want to be in that position. You say that's what you're talking and blah, blah, blah. Now you're in that position. Right. And, they loving the coach. The coach been on the Breakfast Club and everything, He like, they didn't treat me like this in Chicago. What's up, Charlamagne? Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he the hero now. Don't lose in the first. It's gonna change. It's lonely in New York when they lose, boy.
What? Oh yeah, they gonna. Oh man, he lose this series. They gonna turn on him so quick. So,
right.
So even if his job is safe, like, is he gonna be safe from the fans? Is the real question. And Jeff pointed in the comments, like, Julius Randle, like when you start getting game plan for, which is what's going to happen in the first round, if you make it to the second, coaches is going to really start the game plan for you and really take away your strengths and make you go towards your weakness. So are you going to be able to, is Julius Randle going to be able to adjust from game to game with the game plan that the Hawks going to throw at him is the real question, honestly.
Right.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, like I said, this is going to be the series I thought was going to live up to the hype, and we talked about it last week, where I think this is going to be a 7-game series. I could feel it. Mm-hmm. It's going to be, like I said last week, it's going to be a seesaw where you're going to have, maybe the Knicks win tomorrow night and Atlanta going to show up on Friday night. Everybody going to be out there on Friday night. And it's just, just in general, I think it's going to be just one of those series where it's going to just be a seesaw. And like you said, I want to see how they game plan with Julius Randle. Like you said, now he's the focal point. He's the like Jeff said, he's the guy. He's the focal point. He's the one that everybody's going to prime on to. And you see how. And the thing about it is, and then the Knicks in a weird way, like as far as when we look at just from a roster standpoint, obviously Atlanta has the advantage. Right. I mean, let's keep it a buck. But just the simple fact of, with the Knicks doing their thing and overachieving, these are the two most overachieved teams of the season, I think, in my personal opinion, because I thought Atlanta probably maybe like 6th or 7th, maybe going into that playing. And even in the beginning of the season, Atlanta,
beginning of the season. I mean,
it was to a point. Yeah, it was to a point where we didn't think those teams was going to even make the playoffs, and just for these two teams to be playing each other in the first round series. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting and see what Trae Young does going forward. And like you said, that's why we talked about earlier about the youth, where normally it used to be a situation, oh, this guy don't have a playoff experience.
Right.
Or it's just like, they had like a deer in the headlights, but no, these guys are performing like, as if it's just a regular game, which that's the few thing about it. And just just want to see the role players do their thing. Like y'all said, look, Gallinari do his thing. And then Lou Will, that's pretty much why he's there essentially at this point in his career, because giving giving them that little added punch they need, and he looks a lot better now. As far as it's feel like going home was kind of a good thing for him at this point in his career, compared to being all the way out in LA. Right. I think he just ran his course in LA. But yeah, I definitely think this is going to be a 7-game series, and we'll be talking about this next week. And and then I think, and I hope the Knicks, if they lose, I hope they don't turn on Tibbs.
No, I hope.
Yeah. I hope not either. I hope not either, because that would just y'all going back to the old days. Y'all going back to when we need to kind of temper these expectations, which hopefully but either or whoever comes out this series, it's gonna have a nice little interesting date with maybe the Sixers potentially. Yeah. Well, it'd be the Sixers. We're not even gonna do that wizard crap tonight. We're not gonna do that. But so fellas, round out recap for the playoffs. Which LA team is in greater danger? I'm gonna go with you first, Maui. Who you got?
I mean, of course I'm not being biased either. I feel like it's the Clippers because, like I said, every game has its own storyline. So let's say the Lakers versus the Suns. They was actually probably the top 2 teams that was like number 1 in the bubble. But the Lakers in the playoffs only lost 5 games, and the Suns went damn near undefeated. They went undefeated in the bubble, right? Yeah. So in this playoff game, it's like, okay, who really was the best in the bubble? I'm just throwing that out there. Then the Clippers versus the Mavs. I mean, I felt like the Mavs was going to beat them last year. I just felt like Luka just got too big-headed. That narrative on these shows where Luka needs to do this, Luka didn't do this. But when Curry would come in, they was more organized and they passed the ball out some. And then, so I just feel like then when I watched the game today, it just seemed like the timing of when the defense tried to get on him, like he got this slow shot. He don't move too fast, and he will pause, and they will always catch them off. Even though I know they made a run in the fourth quarter, right. It seemed like the defense collapsed more on him, and then everybody else was one-on-one, and they knocked down their shots. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm ready. I'm hoping Porzingis get confident because he got a quiet 18 points. Very quiet. But I feel like if he step up, man, they really gonna be dangerous. If he be who he was last year,
definitely.
Yeah, big time. Fresh, who you got?
I have the Los Angeles Lakers.
There we go.
LeBron typically he's lost a few game ones, so nothing to overreact with there. I just wonder at this point how healthy him and Anthony Davis both are. Obviously they're out there playing, but LeBron missed the most games of his career this year, and as an older player, I think that means a little something. Anthony Davis has a history of those injuries, but I think if it's any year that LeBron needed Anthony Davis, at least carry him at least until the finals is this year. Because if you give him some time to get right, LeBron will take over in the finals. I believe that. But he really needs Anthony Davis to help him get there this year. You know what I mean? And especially with his being an ankle injury, and Anthony Davis came back a little bit before him. You know what I mean? So they're going to really need AD to play big because the Lakers, at the end of the day, when LeBron got hurt, the Lakers were in second or third place. So they're not your typical 7 seed. So, picking the Lakers isn't just a biased pick. They were legit a championship contender. LeBron gets hurt, that changes stuff. If AD, can come in and just average, 30 and 12 for a couple games, I think that can help them advance. So I think the Lakers only because I just worry about LeBron's health and can AD help him get to that position. Because if he gets him to the position, LeBron gonna put him over the top. We saw that even in a sense last year for a little while. When AD did have his little runs, but LeBron did put him over the top.
Who you got, W?
Before I give my thoughts, Mallory, you want to go? You got something you want to say real quick?
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead. Before I say what I got to
say. I seen all the stats. Right. We all know that Anthony Davis should at least give you 20 points.
Right.
Everybody at least got 2 points. Everybody did somewhat okay. KCP got 7, but that's cool. He gave us 7 points. Wesley Matthews, THT, 2 points. I watched the game. They wasn't even in there that damn long.
Right, he wasn't.
Kyle Kuzma got 0 points. What is Kyle Kuzma doing 0 points? They lost by 9. You can't. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
oh boy.
Come on, man! You got your money. I'm sorry, I got more bass in my voice. Hold up, but you know what I mean. Once I looked at the numbers and the stats, Suns should have won. But then when I started looking at everybody, I'm like, damn, they really should have. The Lakers should have won. They played a horrible game. When you look at it, I was like, damn, they should have won. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's just. But anyway, it's all good. It's the playoffs, man. It's the playoffs, bro.
But to answer the question, I think, I think the Clippers have the better chance of losing. But I think the Lakers are in more danger. I think this is, if you want to beat a LeBron team, this is kind of the perfect team to beat them with. A point guard that can control the game. Because even though the Lakers should have won, the Phoenix was in control of the game the whole time.
Yeah, game the whole time. Yeah.
Chris Paul was in. Devin Booker, a dynamic scorer. DeAndre Ayton, a rim protector, rebounder. Outplayed Anthony Davis in game 1. So if you was 16, right, and you have home court advantage. So like you said, LeBron does lose game 1, so there's nothing to overreact about. But if you're going against a young team, not even a young team in Phoenix, who also, I can't forget Mikal Bridges, who's gonna give LeBron problem all series just because of his man got long arms like a tarantula out there. No disrespect to him. But it's gonna be hard for LeBron to get some of those passes off just because Mikal Bridges can tip the ball from him. So
true.
This is gonna be a real tough series for the Lakers, win or lose. Which, excuse me, right now I got Phoenix in 6 because I just don't think they have anybody that's gonna be able to guard Devin Booker. Honestly, that's the big difference. Like, do we really trust KCP, Wesley Matthews, Alex Caruso, any of those guys to guard Booker?
Yeah. I'm a little confused. I'm not confused, but more so of the Clippers. Once again, they're doing what they're doing. The thing that kind of freaks me out about that makes it so weird about what the Clippers is. In that game, the Dallas game, they pretty much controlled the tempo throughout the whole game. They had a 12-point lead at half. Then even the Clippers came back and pretty much had a 3-point lead with like 5 minutes to go. They kind of BS. Game was tied, I think, with like 2 minutes to go, and then the Dallas went on a 13-3 run to end the game. And the thing about that is, and I look at that game somewhat more like a monopoly, not a one-off. Not put it that way, because I don't think you're gonna get Dorian Finney-Smith is not gonna get 18. I'm sorry, and Jalen Brunson is not gonna do what he does. Because I think Jalen Brunson had 18, 16. I forgot how many points he had. And I'm like, a lot of stuff is going to be kind of a one-off. The Lakers, like you said, I think more so in trouble just due to their the matchup that they have. As far as like you said, you got a Chris Paul, you got young guys, Aiden also too. So I think he's going to definitely. Him and AD is going to be battling the whole series. And like I say, you got Devin Booker is doing his thing. And like you said, Mikal Bridges doing his thing as far as defending LeBron. And then also my nephew, Lil Cam.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing a little something too, man. That's my little nephew.
Yeah, I can't forget Cam. And he's another defender for LeBron too. Like, he can get in there and guard him as well.
I love how he wasn't hesitating on his shots at all. He was shooting. I saw him make one, miss one, came back, and like he was shooting that ball.
That's what they do down in Chapel Hill. That's how we get them. That's how we do. That's how we do them. That's how we do in Chapel Hill. That's what we do in Chapel Hill. We ain't scared of nobody. No. But in all seriousness, I think the team that's really gonna probably be more. It probably is going to be the Clippers. I think more so than anything because I just think that just simple fact of them not being able to finish games, and and it's weird because they feel like they're like almost. I think in their mind they think they are a championship level team because they can have an off and on button, but for some odd reason when they try to turn that button back on, and it's just like it's too late.
Yeah, it's like a hammer. Like they pushing it up a little bit. They can't. They're light hammer.
Yeah, because I can never even watch them throughout the whole season. I can never like in these clutch situations. I can never fathom the fact how you can't finish the game when you got a Paul George and a Kawhi Leonard. Like,
right
when you got two guys who've been, who are good in clutch situations, and it's just it's gonna be that's gonna be a weird thing. And I think tonight is a pivotal game for the Clippers more so than the Lakers. I think because at this point, the way people saying Kawhi might walk, he might walk and the next first round draft pick is probably in the 6th grade for this LA Clippers team.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
I mean, don't you think that Pat Bev is really a liability?
Yes, he absolutely is. Like even defensively now, like he's not called like too small.
And that's what and no disrespect to Jimmy Buckets. I think he's better than him. But I just think players like them, they always trying to sell something to you. And I'm like, nigga, just play, man. You know what I'm saying? Thinking I'm out, you know what I mean? You doing too much. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. I get what you
mean. You know, and that's what I mean. Like Marcus Smart used to be that way, but now he's balling. You can tell that he done elevated his game. But he know his role. Like, I'm going to play defense. Okay, I'm open at the 3-point line. I'm going to knock down my shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he ain't trying to act like he the best player.
I get it. Yeah.
And I think that was the media thing because everybody was because remember the whole situation with Russell Westbrook back in the day when he was with Houston?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like, he's a tough guy. He's, you know how to lead labels, those kind of guys.
No, yeah, definitely.
And and I think the thing about just that situation, I think it's just run its course in LA with him. I mean, it's just now you look at now like what Reggie Jackson doing his thing there. So it's like, and then also Rondo as well. So then they had to get those guys because Pat Bev at that time, because everybody's like, oh, he was John Alonzo in his first game. And I'm like, that's low hanging fruit. He's
Like Reggie Jackson didn't even really play, man. Like, I was looking at the numbers, like he didn't even really play. That's probably part of the reasons why they lost.
Right.
I mean, he's scary to me. I'd be terrified. I would be scared of Reggie Jackson. You know what I mean? Because he can turn it on anytime. He can give you 15.
Exactly.
And they needed that.
Yeah, we need Detroit Reggie Jackson.
We don't need the Detroit Drummond. I don't care what them numbers say. Oh my goodness! You talk about lead feet. I'm like, bro, if you don't jump, don't you hate somebody that's real tall and they won't jump?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's the worst thing.
Don't you hate that? I'm like, boy, if you don't jump and dunk it, just jump.
He was all-star. He was all-star in Detroit. He was.
The Lakers got to stop going to him in the post like he got post moves. I don't know what's up with that. I don't understand it.
It's almost made me feel like they not gonna give Drummond the call all the time. I think there's something else that people gotta look into. Not everybody in the post get those type of calls. Like Jimmy Butler, he go to the hole, he get those calls. Certain people get calls like that. Yeah. When you're a big dude in there, you're not getting that call all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then what's up with your boy Trez, man? We're like this little hot-headed. He got a little hot-headed. He should have got it.
Man, he was. Oh, first of all, hold up. No, he should not. No, he should not.
Not that way.
No.
Because he had no business with being there, man.
That's true.
Hold on. He got it, but he got a tech for it. But was it worse than what your man did? Was it worse?
Russell Westbrook hype man? You talking about Cameron Payne?
When he ran into Caruso with the forearm. Come on, man.
But
don't do that.
I think what happened, he threw the ball at him. So that's where it kind of before
that happened.
Well, yeah.
When Chris Paul grabbed, he ran into him and then he was holding on to the ball. Then Caruso had knocked the ball out of his hand, and then he threw the ball at him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's when LeBron dislocated his shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Hey man, he been eating some fried chicken, had a little bit of gout up in there, man.
That was funny, man.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all know basketball. They tell you to do that. Don't even try to front.
Yo, it was so funny because I was watching the game with my uncle. He was like, "Yo, get up."
Right. I be saying that. I be saying that too. But at the same time, come on, yo. I mean, how many times has Chris Paul done that? I mean, y'all need to stop.
That's why I said that's low key dirty. That was dirty. That's what
let's be real. I can see.
That's the banana boat. That's what I told you. They ain't going on the banana boat or something.
Don't get me wrong. I be one. I'm like LeBron. Just you missed a shot. Okay, they fouled you. Please get back on defense. Please hurry up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't get me wrong. You know.
This time though, I don't know if y'all noticed it. Did y'all see LeBron kind of walk over by where everything was going on? That like holding on to his stuff. Okay, bro, we get it, bro.
Right.
He was rolling on
it. And I want to talk to the producer of 2K. If y'all don't stop treating LeBron that way, every time it's a foul he get to running around with his hands up like this. I'm like, man, they ain't got to be that damn accurate. You know what I'm saying?
It's true to four.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, that's insane.
But yeah, it's both of them. Both LA teams, they're in a battle.
Definitely.
But tonight is definitely pivotal for both of these teams because obviously the Lakers go home.
Right.
Then the Clippers go on the road. So this is definitely going to be definitely compelling. So let's put a bow on this week's Couch Coach Live, man. I'm going to go around the horn. Final thoughts. I'm going to go with you first. W, what you got? Final thoughts.
This season, despite everything that happened, this was one of the better seasons in a long time, honestly. Some accomplishments. Just great basketball in general. The last month and a half, of what Steph Curry was doing was amazing. Truthfully, Phoenix being this good for the first time in a long time. Even Utah, who I think we none of us had been a 1 seed when we did the season preview, and just the way they played all year. Like I say, the playoffs been great so far. Hopefully they remain great. We get some more good games. Brooklyn is just absolutely thrashing Boston right now. So I know that's not going to be a series, but at least all the other games should be pretty good.
Yeah. What you got, Fresh?
My final thoughts was I think this year the play-in tournament,
wild card tournament,
we changed it to the wild card tournament because it's a part of the playoffs, and the play-in doesn't sound like it's a part of the playoffs. But the play-in was super successful, so I think we're definitely going to see more of that in the future, especially as the NBA looks to add more teams, possibly 2 more teams. The games were, I saw the Warriors Memphis game was the second highest viewed game this year. I thought that was kind of crazy. I think it was like 3.6 million people that watched it or something like that. I'm like, Memphis got that tight. I know it's the Warriors, but they played Memphis. So
right.
I think that was pretty huge for the league. So they're definitely going to run with that next year, especially if they keep trying to get some of this money back that they've been losing. So the play-in was exciting. Like I think you said at the beginning, about like every game was exciting. It was a good game to watch, every single one. Even the blowouts were good because of just how efficient the teams were playing. So,
right.
And I didn't think, that's right. Ratings went up. I thought they said the NBA was too woke, that they were losing viewership.
Right.
No. See, that's I think ratings in basketball is weird though. Like,
right. And I think even the players that didn't play and that played like the playing game, they seemed really excited. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even when like Westbrook lost, but that told the story for the next game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you know what I mean? Like I was like, yo, you good? Like people didn't know, oh man, they out. I'm like, nah, they gonna win next game. Watch. You know what I'm saying? And so I guess final thoughts for me, man. Appreciate you guys being here, being able to give a different perspective about, this one of these, a game, not just the NBA, but basketball is one of those community games where back in the day when you was a new kid in the neighborhood, you can go to like a little basketball hoop and then you could be a shy kid, but can make a couple of shots and then you'll mess around, have some best friends. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And that's the beautiful thing of it. And I do believe as time went on, they changed it where they got rid of the basketball courts, and then they started having more courts at the house. Like every house had a court. When I grew up, it used to be in the neighborhood there was one basketball court. Every neighborhood had that one basketball court, you know. And then they got rid of a lot of those places. They got rid of those rims. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yep.
So it's real cool to see guys like you dudes in Atlanta, me from being from Ohio, Chris being here from Virginia, to be able to talk about this sport and give it a different perspective of what they're doing on those major networks, because those major networks is actually controlling things, which is, it's not. That's the reason why a lot of those ratings are down. You know what I mean? Because they control the narrative. It's not the NBA. The NBA somewhat don't know what to do. They need to get the right people in there and listen to these podcasts, and maybe they'll know exactly what they need to do.
Yep.
And that's just I was being sarcastic, because that's the running theme as far as the right wing. Let's just keep it
right.
They look at it from that standpoint. But like I said, the game is a good place.
Right.
Like you said, the play-in tournaments and the play-in was cool. I was hearing about the midseason thing, and I'm like, don't do that. Like, just keep it in the play-in, like you said, having the wild card, which probably NFL probably got a lock on that wild card. They probably trademarked that like they did with 2K and Madden. It's like it's sold up. But man, another great show. Definitely appreciate you guys. The Hoop was coming on, man. Definitely always a great time when we chop it up with you guys, man. Always a great time, and man,
Hey man, it was definitely, we were definitely waiting on this one.
We got beef with you. How you gonna do an award show and not invite us on for that one?
Exactly,
bro. We gonna link back over with the NBA. And I be that's how it is, man. But
I feel you. That was a good one, bro.
But it's all
y'all did a good show too. With I seen it with you, Zach, who was Chris was on there. Jelani was on there.
Yeah, we had Nick on there. Nick on there. So it was definitely dope. So appreciate you for checking that. Out. But man, appreciate the invite on the show as always, man. So we gotta get ready for another one when the Hawks advance to the second round.
Right. We'll have y'all during the NBA playoffs. And,
I'll be on here to call out New York Knicks Twitter.
We
advance. They better win. Better win tomorrow. It's gonna be ugly. I ain't even scared nothing.
To be honest with you, let's be real. Atlanta really is the new New York. I don't know why they trying to act like it ain't.
That's why
know what I'm saying.
That's why they beef with us. We took the music industry from them.
Right.
We got wings.
Right.
Our women look better.
Right.
It's just beef everywhere. But you know what's crazy though? For real, it's this game you'll see in Atlanta. The 3 games is gonna be weird because it is a lot of New Yorkers here. Like they have, they have a you're right. They have like a day here, and the city be packed with them. So I know they stole some of the tickets for the game, and they're gonna be there at the game trying to get down for New York. So,
and it's gonna be exciting, man. That's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, they're gonna go home disappointed though.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
one guy actually said he bought tickets. He's from New York. He bought tickets for the game out here. He gonna come here. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, it was
Mario.
Mario.
So
I said that years ago. I was like, man, the Hawks, they should be in the playoffs, man. I said all those celebrities there. I remember what was one of the last times I saw y'all in the playoffs with Josh Thompson was there. Josh Thomas. Who was the forward that y'all used to dunk all the time?
The last time we had Al Horford and Millsap.
Yeah, Millsap.
Okay. I remember like looking in the crowd, man, y'all had every rapper from Atlanta on the floor. And y'all ignorant. Y'all they can be bougie, but they ignorant. They right from the hood, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think T.I.'s hat might have been glued because it was cocked to the side, and he was all like this. That bitch didn't move, bro. But I'm like, oh man, this almost. I felt like I was watching Showtime. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because you're seeing all these celebrities on the floor. I was like, yeah, Atlanta got to make it to the playoffs, man, because that's all part of the NBA excitement, man. To be honest with you,
right?
You know what I mean? It's all part of it.
But yeah, Knicks take over everywhere. Atlanta, pretty much anywhere East Coast wise. Yeah, they take over. They travel, man. They travel well.
Yeah, they do.
Wherever they go.
It's all good. Man.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, definitely. I gotta come down south one of these days.
Hey, man, summertime's finna get hot. Hey, come on down here, man.
Either October, because I know we play the Falcons on October the 3rd. I might go to that game. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, man.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Come on down.
We gotta link up and do it.
We get the lemon pepperloos, man. Come on down.
That part. Y'all know why I'm here.
I'm not even gonna lie. If I go, I'm not really gonna be trying to get no wings. I'm gonna be looking at something else. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's why they there.
You kill two birds in one stone. Yeah, man. But yeah, that's where it be at. But yeah, so where can they find you on social media, Hoopers, and tell them about the show on Fridays?
Oh yeah, for sure. So you can follow us on what's the Twitter?
Twitter at Hoopers Pod. Instagram is _Hoopers IG.
Right, and then you can catch us every Friday morning on the Off the Ball Network's Facebook page, on our Twitter page, and on YouTube. Just search the Hoopers for the Hoopers Morning Run. And of course, you got us every Monday and Friday on Nothing But Net Radio. Through the Dash Radio app, 8 p.m. for the Hoopers Hour, and then the podcast is everywhere. Pods are available. Just search the Hoopers Pod. We on iHeart, we on Pandora, we on Apple, so we're a little bit everywhere.
Yeah, definitely huge shout out to that. And Mal, where can they find you on social media?
Oh man, Deshaun Morgan Facebook, DT Morgan 78 Instagram, Twitter coming real soon because I'm being told I have to go. I hate being I'm the one that's left out.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
On Twitter, yo. I've been telling y'all for a minute, yo. Twitter's lit, yo.
Yeah, it's definitely when you find your group of people.
Yes,
you know when you find your group of people, you know who they are.
Yep.
No matter who that group is, you know who your group of Twitter people are.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. And you just say, hey, and the randomness of it too. You just don't know what can happen. It's like Twitter's just it's just a mystery.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm here for it either way. I'm here.
Yeah,
for
me
it.
too. Yeah, big time.
I've been back on Twitter for like a year and a half now. So
yeah.
I know one thing. This damn Anthony, and I know one thing. This damn AD better play. I'm so sorry. I'm thinking out loud. I'm sorry.
You got a point though. He can't do that again tonight. Like he got to come out here and show something.
35 tonight.
35. Yeah, he got to take it.
And take his ass out, put in McKinney. I'm sorry.
Good luck with that.
But no, they should play Marc Gasol more for real though before we get out of here. His passing and his still, his whatever little defensive capabilities you have left is a big advantage over having Andre Drummond out there, or just play Anthony Davis at the 5. Like those are your only options because Andre Drummond can't play the whole series.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. For the podcast, anywhere you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, anywhere we're there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram on the Couch Coach Live. Definitely want to appreciate the Hoopers for stopping by tonight. Also, huge shout out to our guy Mo, aka Mo Gotti, for chiming in. Also, our guy Jeff. Shout out to our guy Nick as well. Shout out to Nick doing his thing out there. We see a young fella. Then also shout out to our guy Marcus. Our
hey,
guy
man. We ain't heard or seen Marcus. We ain't seen him.
Shout out to him.
The Knicks play. Here come Marcus.
That's how it
ain't seen Marcus.
Hey. That's how it happens. But yeah, definitely huge shout out to everybody who chimed in on our show today, and we'll catch you guys next week. In June. So this has been this week's Couch Coach Live, man. We'll catch you in June.
You're welcome.
All right.